Do I have a perfect case for you today? And a perfect case which is gonna make you think more than anything. It's gonna challenge your presumptions, it's gonna challenge how you think about UX, delivering value for, business and users. What happens when you have trade-offs and contentions between the two? And to illustrate all of that, I'm gonna use the recent changes to Duolingo service.
Open the app. You have the option to do some practice. You've gathered data from millions of learners making millions of choices like this every day. We've made a few key changes here that you may notice.
It hit November 1st when we launched it to every single person who was on Duolingo. And immediately the wave, a tsunami of negative feedback came in. I used to love Duolingo and had built a massive streak. The new version is awful. What complete mess up for Duolingo? What are we thinking? I thought I was learning a lot and it was fun. The new update makes me hate it. In shock, please reverse the change. What the hell are we thinking? Used to be great, yada yada yada. This is not filtered, by the way. These are the Trustpilot reviews I just literally Googled and every single one, literally if I scroll down, is negative. Looking at the financials, so bottom line, Duolingo has been undefeated champion for language learning. They've been performing extremely well, even if a change has been rolled out from, earlier in the year. Now, let me show you the changes, because that's, I think, what you're keen to understand if you haven't heard about this yet. Before, the actual interface was kind of like a tree-based, where you could pick a family, a group, or a situation you want to learn, which I loved as a user back in the day. Now it's got replaced with very linear modules, which are progressively loaded, but it's all like one step at a time, which people hate. The difference is only in the way you interact with the content. The content of the lessons is exactly the same. There's of course a lot of gamification add-ons and like differences and changes. And you might think that they made a mistake here, clearly, right? But the interesting bit is that we share the science behind it. The new path strategically guides you through the course content, and our experts made sure that this new path drew on learning science. But they're saying basically that this is based on the actual education scientists who create learning programs, much more classical way to learn things. If you can imagine, you go bit by bit and then you unlock progressively steps and you build on top of that. I give them credit, by the way, for explaining this, because I think they need to. If any change like that to user experience or customer experience, you kind of need to introduce people and onboard them, massage it in, for a lack of a better term, because if you just drop it, you're definitely gonna lose your customers. But they're saying, basically that you're gonna go through a linear, and I'm oversimplifying this, but you're gonna go through a linear journey, but then randomly you're gonna get exposed to different levels and you're gonna revisit, let's say, level 1, even if you are in the level 2. There's FAQ, things of that nature, but this is how they explain the change. A lot of UXers are looking at this as a battle between new customer acquisition and business trying to grow and grow and grow, and ignoring this, secondary thing, which is that keeping existing customers happy. You know my rules if you watch my videos, that you must keep your customers happy because you already have those customers. It's much easier for you to be successful as a business. It's easier to then promote, to market to other people and get more people engaged. You have the trust, you have permission to add new things. It's much harder to attract new customers. I have like a very conflicting feeling that we're doing the right thing from learning science perspective, and kind of maybe if they would have started that back in the day when Duolingo was just shaping up, they would have even bigger customer base because the entry could have been better, or maybe people would stick around better and more. And everything here is to be confirmed. I think next year, if you follow up on this case, or maybe if you're watching this video in the future, you can check and see exactly if the financials perform. Maybe they lost too many customers because every other comment on those reviews said, I'm gonna check Babel instead, or look for alternatives. So maybe that's gonna be a shift in their kind of user base, where they're not gonna acquire enough new users and they're gonna lose their existing users because the change is too drastic. And this is where I think the biggest takeaway, something, you could kind of think about where they failed, is that experience design, UX, product design, user research strategy, product tech stuff is all about changing customer behavior. Some new methods with some new touch points, with some new features, but ultimately you kind of need to shift and guide them into new ways to do things with the solutions you give to the people. It's easier to just kind of drop new things and say, deal with it, but it's not really the appropriate thing, because you can think that the new users who are going to look at the tools, they're not going to be recommended by this person who already used Duolingo. They're going to stop recommending it. And second, reading the reviews and seeing like a scoring on, like, let's say App Store being very low, which is also one of those things where you're going to consider, oh, maybe I'm going to go for a competitor who has better scores. And naturally, that's going to impact the acquisition. There is a lot of lessons here and a lot of things you should explore and think about, because as a growing designer, as a design leader, whoever you are, there is so much here to take away, and I'm sure you're gonna agree. If you like this video, smash that like button. Leave a comment down below what are your thoughts. Maybe you disagree with me. I'm happy to be challenged. I'm really interested to hear what you think. And on that note, I'll see you next time.